Hey, everybody, welcome to Strategies for Associate Success. We have a super fun show with special guests. I've come directly from the gym because dad bodies are made all year round. You probably tell by how jacked I am. So, we're going to have a super fun show here. We're going to teach you if you're finding a job tips. We're going to hear from a dentist who's out there in the real world, see how she's doing for our key resources and sponsors. So, I'm ready to interview our first awesome guest to share resources on how you can increase your success, decrease stress, and reduce the number of times you feel like crying inside a day. So whoever would like to start first, I'll let my Nacho team, Amanda and Ariel, let them come up and talk with us here. One of the things you guys are here, this show is for you so that you can get your questions answered. So we have Jill, our director of Dentist Job Connect, also my sister, Jill. Share with us what you do in your daily dental nachos and Dentist Job Connect life.
Great. My name is Jill. I am the director of Dentist Job Connect, and I work to connect dentists looking for a job with practices across the U.S. that have opportunities for them.
Awesome. And in part of your life, you have a lot of roles. You're a physical therapist. Did physical therapy school do a good job of training you guys how to find jobs after you were done training?
Believe it or not, at Jefferson, they had some pretty intensive job fairs in person. So they helped us with our interview skills and connecting with hospitals and outpatient practices and rehabs that were looking to have us join.
And routinely, a lot of physical therapists would work in hospital settings, follow around bigger, stronger physical therapists, see doctors. But a lot of times in dentistry, you're just set out into the real world and you don't really have any resources. So what are some of the things you get messages from practice owners, you get messages from dentists looking for a job? What is happening right now with Dentist Job Connect? Let's say you're somebody watching and looking for a job. What's the best way to connect with you?
Great. So our team at Dentist Job Connect is pretty busy right now. There's just a lot of transitions going on, the traditional graduations and residencies that are finishing, but then just also some of the transitions that are taking place in the industry post and during the pandemic with hiring and growing or expanding. So our team, the best way to connect with us is to fill out the landing page if you're looking for a job, and we can get you connected weekly with all of our 100+ open positions across the US. And then for associates or practices looking to grow, they could reach out to us as well. We have another landing page that they could complete information on, and we could share the different program options we have and ways we can help.
Awesome.
One of the best things, though, is just picking up the phone and giving us a call. I could be reached at 267-800-3196. I get texts and calls on the daily with great questions about people looking to add an associate who just aren't sure how to navigate the process or the cost, as well as job seekers who want to know more about the options and toppings that we have.
And what I like to do, we have free options for both of these to help you, and also super affordable options for all if you need more help with this. But you can just pick up your best friend your phone, and you can also text job to 215-543-6454. And Jill does an awesome job updating our positions. You're going to see 100+ open positions. Jill, what states do we have out there for people looking for a job?
Yeah, it's fantastic. We have a new one in Montana, a great one in Portland, Oregon. We have over about a dozen across the state of Texas, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. We're all the way in Alaska. We have a great one in the Virgin Islands. We're up there in Maine with some really awesome ones, New York State, both Carolinas, Florida. We just about touch every corner of the map.
All the US, and just text job to 215-543-6454. Share that with your friends. You can see maybe they're moving. There's so much transitions happening right now, Jill. People are getting into perio programs. They're moving across the country and they're leaving a great job. And these practice owners, Jill, do they seem like they have significant needs when they reach out to you?
For sure. Sometimes it's like putting out a fire. They want someone yesterday. Again, we work pretty quickly. We have a really strong reach with our 32,000 member Facebook group, our website, and our Instagram. But we really encourage practices and owners, if they're thinking about this, to lean in and learn now, because the sooner the better to get the process going. Because we've had practices who then have to manage the hiring and the interviews. So sometimes they said, oh, stop, we've gotten so many applicants. It's just a big process to have to manage. So the sooner the better.
We want to just have as many topping options as possible. So thanks for doing what you do, Jill. People want to just email you and just send you a quick email. What's the best way for them to do that?
Great. jobconnect@dentalnachos.com. And again, my work number at 267-800-3196. Text me, call me. We could definitely connect. So I look forward to hearing from you.
Awesome. Thanks for being on.
Right. Bye, guys.
So we're going to do interviews. Then I'm going to give some tips throughout it, kind of like a fast-paced, friendly tornado show like me. I put together 6 golden nacho tips. If you want these tips, they're great. I went over them with my residents just the other day. You can get a copy of them. Hear the words, say the words. Dental assistant's going to be your most important person. If you want to help a lot of patients be productive and do patient-centered dentistry, use the phrase, I just want to share with you what happens if you do nothing. Share with people what happens if they do nothing, the risks and benefits of no treatment. Dr. John Kois taught me that years ago. So if you would like these tips, you can just text in and we'll text you the tips. You'll have them forever. You can read them anytime you want. You can use them as a reminder, but I also like to go over questions. So what is a common breakdown in the associate practice owner relationship? So I went to Instagram. We're going to have Yald on here soon. She's an Instagram expert, Instagram guru. And I did a study. It's not a real study. It's just a story. And 32% said not enough patience and 68% said lack of mentorship. So these are common challenges. So when you are going to find a job or hire an associate, identify, do you have enough patience? Do you have enough production to share with this associateship? And mentorship is not just a catchphrase. What does that look like? Doesn't mean you have to sit next to your associate and check their crown preps. That may be totally inappropriate, but are you available on your phone? Are you in the office at any time? You imagine if you just got a babysitter and say, take care of my house for the next 3 months, I'm leaving. When you come back, they may be an awesome babysitter, but they don't know how you want things done. I know most of you guys are seeing this fractured implant up here because dentists, you guys love when stuff goes sideways. So how did this implant fracture? The actual implant fractured. The patient broke his natural tooth, broke the root canal and crown. We've since replaced that implant, but I just used that as an attention getting slide. I know you said show a dentist something that goes wrong. One time at band camp, they saw a peri-implantitis. They're super into it. All right, great. I'm ready for my next interview. Whoever would like to pop up on our show, as we get more people into our Zoom chat, please put questions in Q&A. Awesome. Thanks for wearing your shirt. So I will let you introduce yourself to the crowd. What do you do and how do you help dentists? Stephen, go from this to this.
Well, very, very easily, Paul. I'm Stephen Contreras with Compassionate Finance. And one thing that we do, and I see a lot in the Facebook groups, is third-party financing is just not approving my patients. It's hard to get them in the chair and have them say yes to a crown. It's a reason why crowns are only done one at a time, because you kick it off to the next year, even when the patient might need 3. You have them in the chair. Why not do the work now? And Compassionate Finance allows you and your practice to set up an affordable payment system that lets people pay over time and maintain their lifestyle and allows you to earn a little interest while you're doing it.
And I'd like to kindly annoy someone in the Facebook to tag Kate Kosick, my favorite human being, one of my favorite human beings on earth. When I said, one of our sponsors is Compassionate Finance, let's try it. Kate said, we don't need it. I said, let's try it. Kate said, we don't need it. I said, you know me, Kate, we're going to try it. And now she uses it regularly to find the right fit for financing. And just like we have multiple pairs of sneakers, we have multiple financing options, Stephen. And Compassionate Finance has been a great fit for people that sometimes fall out of the normal financing opportunities we have. And it's just, I want to thank you for existing and helping us with this, because I think of this routinely. There's a person getting teeth because of Compassionate Finance, because if we used what we had previously, we would not have fit her into our financing. She would likely have been rejected by other ones. Doesn't mean they're bad. We have multiple financing sponsors, just like you have multiple streaming services in your house, right? No one's like, it's Hulu or bust. I refuse to watch Netflix. So Stephen, if people want to learn more, you guys are an awesome key resource and sponsor. I know we're putting text codes in here in the chat, but how can they reach out to you? And you guys also have a great nacho deal all the time. Tell us about that.
Absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and drop a link in the chat. It'll get you no setup fee. So that's $1,500 knocked off the front right there. Then you're going to get a free 30-day trial. You'll be trained. You'll be able to issue some Compassionate Finance agreements with some of your patients. And if it doesn't work for you, if your team doesn't feel like they're adopting, you can quit anytime. There's no strings attached. And we just have a low monthly licensing fee after that. So the amount of dentistry you will do by offering Compassionate Finance will totally eclipse any monthly fee. So I'll go ahead and put that link in the chat.
Tell you, Bruce, and you, thanks for existing. We truly appreciate it. You helped us expand our comfort zone. Thanks for being an awesome key resource and sponsor. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Paul.
Awesome. So you see here, resources, business tips. You cannot help patients unless you figure out a way to get patients to pay in a way that's comfortable for them. So we're going to go back to our questions here. Let's go to our next question here. Where is your current student debt level? So one of my favorite shows, Game of Thrones. So we take a look at dental school debt, a dentist with a dull chamfer burr, and dental insurance. So these are just things for you guys to all think about. my dental school is 3 times as expensive now as it was 20 years ago, and the starting pay for dentists has remained stagnant. This is a challenge. It doesn't mean you have to go home and cry in your nachos. Ridiculous to cry in nachos. It just means being aware of challenges, practical optimism, like Gary Vee says, realistically positive, so you can identify ways for you to be more productive and patient-centered. One of my favorite ways is improving your patient communication skills, especially in restoring posterior dental implants, because that is a straightforward procedure. So just being able to explain that, placing dental implants is a more medium or advanced level skill set, which you should learn and get involved with strongly, but restoring them is something anyone can do, from a 4th year dental student up to 40 years in practice when people teach you. So that is one of my tips there. What is your current dental student debt level? I'd love for you guys to put in the chat if you want. Are you guys in the 100 to 400K, the 400K plus? Feel free to interact with us in the chat. Remember, if you have a question you would like to ask about associate contracts, hiring, challenges, looking, when you're in the job, put it in the Q&A, and I'll be glad to answer it. It's hard for me to keep track of the chat, but glad to answer it if it is in the Q&A. And this is my Dental Nachos message. This is Drew from 3 years ago, pre-pandemic. I want to create a world where we feel less isolated. That's the whole point of everything we do, to help dentists have more fun, connect with people who can help you, make dentistry a little more funny sometimes. Just talk to patients like people, and magic will happen. We're often too isolated out there in our own caves. So, if you know somebody who would benefit from joining Dental Nachos, they can just text Nachos to 215-543-6454. And if you text Nachos to 215-543-6454, you're going to get a $143 gift code sent to you. It's for current Nacho members too. Anyone can get it, which is an honor of Mr. Rogers, 143, I love you. So let's go to our next guest here. I'm ready for our next guest. So before you introduce yourself, there's some things that make me want to cry inside, okay? One of the main things is I like sports, okay? Football and basketball. It's very hard to have a dentisting bench. So when your dental assistant can't come in, you can't sometimes do $5,000, $6,000 of work. The pandemic, I really love my team. I love people, as you can tell. There are unforeseen consequences or issues. People's kids are home from school. There's ones where people aren't fit, but we've had so many team member issues. So I'm so excited for Trey, awesome key resource and sponsor. Share with us how you reduce crying inside, Trey.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Paul. So my name is Trey. I'm the CEO of Cloud Dentistry. And like Paul was saying, staffing is just a pervasive problem in the dental space. And it's become even worse right now because of the COVID and all the unemployment benefits. We have like one of the lowest workforce participation rates ever. So Cloud Dentistry, we're basically the opposite of a staffing agency. We're a marketplace where dental offices can find, message, and book dental staff for temporary or permanent assignments in real time. So it's very fast. We have over 5,000 practices in the network and about 35,000 professionals. And every single month, we're doing about 2,000 placements. So even though it's a tough market out there, we're a great resource for just making these connections. You just got to get out there and make it happen.
I mean, you're going out there and connecting people who want to fill spots, people who need spots. It's hard to do. Where are you seeing some of the most needs right now? In what positions? And also share with us, if you're a dentist, if you're a practice owner, if you're a hygienist, listening assistant, how can they connect with you?
Sure. So hygiene is super, super hot right now. We're redlining the platform right now on dental hygienists. And like I said, we're doing thousands and thousands of matches every single month for temporary and permanent assignments. The cool thing about us, we don't mark up any of their rates. We don't charge any buyout fees. So when I said that we're the opposite of staffing agency, I really mean it. You pay a flat rate, and it's kind of like eating at a buffet. You can have try out as many temporary professionals as you want. And when you find the one you want to hire full time, you make them an offer, and there's no extra fees to us. We really are here about.
And that's so great. Not surprisingly, I'm a fan of buffets, Trey. I fit a lot on my plate, literally and figuratively. But that's so great. I mean, what you guys, I don't want to sound like this medium age. I'm going to have the awesome Yald on. She's a new dentist. It's like, I don't want to sound like when I was a new dentist. We had none of this stuff, right? We didn't have affordable for all solutions. If you're watching in, we're going to have a C show at 12 noon. So stick around for that. We're going to have one of the best dentists on planet Earth, Dr. Jason Smithson, come and share with us from the UK on a Sunday through Zoom. I had none of this. We didn't want a staffing agency. We had to call up some woman who was great, who ran an old-fashioned staffing agency. We had to pay a fee, which I wasn't against paying the fee at all because it was worth it. It was just, it wasn't something where you could get a lot of options quickly. It was like doing it by hand, right? It's like doing things by hand. So I think, what you guys are offering is awesome. Share with us, how can people reach out to you if they want to sign up for your platform to be featured, or if they're looking for a team member?
Absolutely. So the best part about Cloud Dentistry is that there's no cost to creating your account with us. So I tell all dental offices out there and dental professionals too looking for work, you owe yourself to create a free account with us. You can look at the staff for free. They all have verified licenses. You can post jobs for free. It's only when you actually want to book someone that you have to upgrade to a paid subscription. So I would just go to clouddentistry.com and create your free account, whether you're looking for staff, be it a dentist, a hygienist, or dental assistant, or if you're looking for work. We've had associate dentists work on our platform after graduation for a year, save up money, and then buy a practice afterwards, and then use our platform to staff their practice. So it's kind of a great kind of 360 solution.
And what you're doing, Trey, your background is as an attorney. I mean, when attorneys go and do summer internships most of the time, and they get to get a feel for what the real world of dentistry like. I wish we had that in dentistry. Unfortunately, we just don't, right? So what you're also doing is you're creating relationships and connection opportunities that you never know how it comes back. Gary Vee is one of my favorite people. You never know why this comes back, where someone says, oh yeah, there's somebody worked for me who wants to buy a practice in Connecticut. And I remember that. So get out there and just start connecting. It doesn't have to be so serious. It's just getting your face and name out there. So Trey, love what you're doing. Really appreciate it. Just one more time, people are watching and right now want to connect with you. What's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, clouddentistry.com, or send me an email at info@clouddentistry.com. Either one of those works great.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Trey.
Thank you, Paul. Take care.
We're going to go to another question and point here before our next guest. Toppings on the circle of dentisting life. I know you guys, you like treatment plans as for your patients. So what's the treatment plan for your life? So I just want you to start thinking about where you are in the circle of dentisting life. Finding your first job, buying your first practice, hiring your first associate, and selling your dental practice. Okay, so we're going to have Dr. Jerry Yu coming up after Dr. Yalda, and he's someone who's had a first job, bought his first practice, buying other practices, hiring associates. So if you think of this like 4 quarters of basketball, he's in that 3rd quarter. We're going to have Dr. Yalda come up next. I'm ready for Dr. Yalda. She has gone, I've known her since she was in dental school. So Yalda, you're welcome to pop on your camera. Awesome, Yalda. So thanks so much for being here. I want to take a little time with you. I know I'm going to embarrass you. Jerry, I'll do Yalda first, then we'll pop in. You can relax, keep having some coffee. I'll bring you up in 1 second. Go on your one wheel until then. It'd be great if you go from your one wheel for this. I'm going to stop Jerry for just a second. So Yalda, I know I'm going to embarrass you, but that's okay. That's what I'm here for. So you represent everything that is right with being a dentist, not just a new dentist, because we connected when you were in dental school, but I love the story. So just share with us, because you graduated dental school through a pandemic. I just want to give you a little bit of time. Let's tag, new dentists that we know. Tell us about your story from D4 to where you are now.
Absolutely. So first of all, thanks for having me. I love Dental Nachos. I'm a Dental Nachos super fan.
Thanks, y'all.
I always love to be included. My story, so obviously I graduated during the pandemic. We didn't have a graduation. It was pretty depressing. And then it was really tough to find a job. But like you mentioned earlier, I had been doing some of the legwork beforehand and reaching out to a couple of offices beforehand. And so I actually found my current full-time job on Instagram.
That's awesome. Now I'm just going to interject. I have a thing, my Mrs. Nazir, this is a good word script, and maybe you can use this with patients and personal things. I'm not interrupting. I want to interject. It sounds nicer because I actually want to bring out some value. I was saying this. How did you connect with practices before you finished? Our dental people, they're very literal. And they say, I can't look for a job as a D3. I don't have a license yet. Share with them the value of just connecting prior to getting your license.
Absolutely. So I had my resume done in advance. And so I was just kind of mass sending out my resume, whether it was finding an office I liked online and finding their email and then just sending them a really nice email with my resume, or sending them a DM on Instagram, or finding ads on Indeed. I was really aggressive. Starting, end of D3, early D4, which to some people sounds a little bit too early, but really, you're graduating. So why not kind of get started?
You're so right. I say day 1, D1 is when you start actually developing relationships for jobs, and a full 12 months prior to needing it, as I think when you have to start consistent efforts on it. Because I always use this, finding a job's a lot like dating. And if dentists applied their job finding skills to dating, they would never find a date, because they would start too late and they would be overly negative. So I love that. Sure. So how did you share so much about your current job? I love following your Instagram stories. I love all the fun things you post. Tell us about the fit of this job, maybe from interviewing till now, what's made it a good fit for you?
Yeah. So to be totally transparent, I did have another job before this.
Gotcha.
And I found that one on Indeed, and I knew it wasn't the right job within the first week.
Now
Uh,
let's interject. Tell us, which is okay. What? So Jim Gaffigan is one of my favorite comedians. So if somebody wanted to be with me and they loved hiking, we would not be a good match. I'm an indoorsy person. Okay. So it doesn't mean it's a bad job. But what were some of the fit challenges there from that job in the most diplomatic way that didn't make it a good fit for you?
Absolutely, mentorship would be the first thing. I was, told I was going to have all this mentorship, and I should have seen this. Hindsight is 2020. The owner of the office was an orthodontist, and so that should have been a red flag to me. But there was no mentorship. I was kind of thrown in. Things were unorganized. It was just really difficult for me as a brand new grad to have nobody else there. Really, there was zero mentorship, and I
And
knew
that's what I share is, and I understand when people have debt or they want to make money, they think making money makes them happy and it's important. But what happens is dentistry can be a lonely profession even when you're surrounded by people. So when you're in an office, I love my team, but they can't go check a hygiene patient. They can't adjust a filling. So what you're sharing is so important for dentists to know at any stage. But if mentorship is not just a buzzword, it's a real thing. I asked, what's more important, money or mentorship? So that didn't have the right mentorship. Now let's fast forward to this job and tell us where there's a good example of this mentorship.
So the good thing about this job is I have both mentorship from the owner and the other associate. She's about 6 years out now, and she's incredible too. So the two of them, I'm able to bounce ideas off of them. Our computer spacing is set up in a way that I can just kind of like chat with them throughout the day. We'll
Nice.
talk about x-rays. We'll talk about cases at the end of the day. They're both available. And if one of them is busy, I have the other to bounce an idea off of. And so it's really, really been helpful with treatment planning and just being able to navigate difficult conversations, which you don't realize how many difficult conversations you're going to have
Yeah.
in dentistry. So that's been really, really good. And just overall, the energy, as you can tell, I'm a very high energy person. And I just like the office vibe was just so high energy, fun, bright, and exactly where I needed to be in comparison to the other office that was just nobody wanted to be at that office.
Yeah.
The staff and the employees at that office, everyone felt miserable. And I feel like when I walk into work, we have a very united team and everybody is working towards the same goal. Everybody wants the ultimate goal of the patient being happy.
And I love you sharing this. I just want to say a couple things about this. One, when there's other licensed dentists in the building, it decreases your stress level because you can just go and say, is this normal? And that goes both ways. So if you were my associate, y'all, you might say, Mrs. Smith is angry. I'm like, she's always angry. That's just her. Don't take it personally. But then I also might be like, hey, y'all, I know I was going to see this emergency, but can you just go talk to them? I have some other things. So it goes both ways. But also, you've made some of your own luck. Dr. Todd Fleischman is one of my best friends. You'll meet him when you come to Philly. And when he was a young dentist like you, he went to study clubs as the youngest person. There was no Facebook. He developed relationships. And when there was a fee for service practice that was being sold, the head of that study club recommended him to buy it. It changed his life forever. He would say he's lucky. I said he made his own luck. But you're just sharing why developing these relationships is so important and why, if you were speaking to dental students, what is the benefit of getting yourself out there and how are you so comfortable sharing on Instagram? I know everyone's not going to do as many stories as us and as many videos, but let's say they just want to do a little. Where does this benefit you in your day-to-day life, your Instagram sharing of both your dental life and your professional life?
Well, it gives people kind of an inside look at who you are and your personality. And that was what was the most important thing. That's how I got this job. So this office has been around for 10 years. It's a really, really nice office. And as a new grad, I was kind of pushing my luck to try to work here. And he looked at my Instagram and said, well, you have all this energy and, let's meet. So then when we met, he had already kind of seen an inside look at how I am. And so the vibe was just there. But had I not had this like fun and exciting Instagram to showcase my personality, he probably would have said, I'm all set, because he wasn't actually looking for an associate.
So and I talk about JB just be nice, but this is JB on Instagram, just be normal. People are like, I don't want to share. I don't know. Don't share something so extreme if you don't want to. Just share. Oh, I see you share about you guys have a CEREC or a milling machine. I see you share about your funny scrub stuff. Like that's just what people like to see your story. Obviously I'm such love Dr. Yazdan and everything she does. She's obviously like just a perfect example of how sharing your story like that helps you have more fun, create better relationships, and patients get to see a little bit of that too. And They love that.
Yeah. Yeah, and people want to connect with you. And so when they see your personality and they see that you're just human, just like them, it kind of makes them want to go to you more. I've had a couple of people reach out on Instagram recently and want to come and be my patient, which is like really exciting. And they want to go somewhere where the doctor is normal and
Yeah,
can
I mean, I always say dentists are people too. People walk in like, I just want to let you know I hate the dentist. I'm like, I just want to let you know you didn't have to say that out loud, right? Like I'm a person too.
I
And
already
they
knew.
laugh. You know, you can use that and just say they laugh, right? So I love that. And Yalda, I want to wrap up with, I'm so thrilled because you're going to come to Philadelphia this summer
I'm
for
so
Super Dentist Boost
excited.
Live. So I want to share, it's an announcement, even though I posted many times. So Super Dentist Boost Live is for dentists 0 to 15 years out of school. 12 awesome dentists are coming to Philadelphia to be part of the live studio audience, but I'm sharing today for the first time. We can have thousands watch in. So my team will share the code. The first 1,000 tickets are free. One thing I noticed about dentists, Yalda, whether you've been out for 1 year or 45 years, love a deal and free stuff, okay? Love a deal. So you can tell your awesome team, text live to 215-543-6454, drop it in the chat. We had over 1,000 people last time. Hope we get more, but you're gonna be here with us in Philly, Yalda. That's awesome.
I'm so excited.
As we wrap up, do two things. Tell people how they can find you on Instagram to use you as a model. And just if you were looking, if somebody was watching in who's a D4 about to graduate their GPR, what's the one thing you think they should do to get the job that's the right fit that you did?
Absolutely. So my Instagram is Loops and Lipstick. You can follow me there. Would love that. And then my one thing that I would suggest is don't be afraid. Don't sell yourself short. Send your resume. It doesn't matter if the office looks too great to be true. Just send it anyways, because you never know who's actually looking. And it's never too early because people start looking for an associate 12 months before they actually need it. So if you get your foot in the door, that's incredible. So the sooner you start, the better. And just don't be shy.
Yeah, love that. ABC, truly always be connecting. Thanks for being you, Yalda. Thanks for jumping on with us here.
Happy.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Really
Go
appreciate
Philly.
it. Yeah. We'll see you in August.
Bye.
Thanks. Awesome, guys. So we're going to bring up Dr. Jerry Yu in just a second. Just going to share one more thing. This is me shooting a 3-point shot from high school. I just want to go to another question before we bring up Jerry here. So I love basketball. Okay, Sixer fan, they'll win the championship this year. So you want to think about these 4 steps. Why you want to hire an associate. So we're switching a little bit to practice owners. Jerry's coming up. I know Jerry met him in person. He represents really the uniqueness of how people can do dentistry. You're going to love hearing from him. But we're going to ask him why he wants to hire an associate, where you can start looking, what to ask during the interview process, and pregame systems for success with your team. So think about this. If you're looking to hire an associate, just don't do it in a reactive way, because one day you feel too busy. You got to make sure there's enough production. You got to make sure you can pay them properly. So I'm ready, Jerry. You can start your camera again here. And we're going to switch kind of to our practice owner segment here. Do we need to do anything for Jerry to start his camera? Perfect. So Jerry, tell us, thanks so much for getting up early. I know you're a dad like me. So tell us, where are you here on Earth? Tell us a little bit about your dental journey and why you're looking for an associate.
Yeah, I'm in Pismo Beach, California. It's I tell people it's one of the last few Cal Americana remaining. And yeah, I'm looking for an associate because I am at that stage in my career where I really need someone else to help me with the dentisting aspect of the practice. There are just too many patients to be seen and I can't see them all.
Sometimes you need to pass it, right? You don't have to take all the shots yourself. Now, I've followed your story from the beginning. We met in person a few years ago. I see you're expanding. How many practices you have now, and how many dentists are on your basketball team at the current time?
So there are 7 associates, and there are really 2 group practice locations. One is sort of a GP implant surgery focused, and the other, due to the legacy of where it's coming from, is a full arch veneers type of based practice. And yeah, and you know, it's funny that you threw up that screen about, you know, why I'm looking for an associate, and perhaps the you know, when I started the associate journey, it was, oh, I need an associate, but now I'm at a stage where I realize, oh, I need the right associate.
Right.
And it's not just about throwing, you know, anyone onto the court. but rather the right fit.
I mean, that's such a good point because you put a basketball player out there who's a center from the 1980s. They can't shoot threes. You might need a 3-point shooter. So I really like this topic. Jerry, tell us what makes someone the right fit for you. What I want to share before you start is the right fit for Dr. Jerry Yu might be different than Dr. Paul Goodman without judgment, but it's important if you're going to play on Jerry's team. So tell us, what are some of the characteristics, Jerry, of the right fit for an associate for you, whether that's personality-wise and also dentisting skills. Do they need to do extractions and bone grafting? Do they need to do implants or restorative? Tell us a little bit about that.
I think the right fit is they have to have the right internal pace.
Gotcha.
And what I mean by internal pace is that the staff tend to have a certain pace that they like to work in and operate in. And I've had associates who couldn't match that pace. And it didn't mean that they were a bad dentist, but they just couldn't operate in that pace. And it doesn't necessarily mean fast or slow. It just has to match with the rest of the team. So if they're out of sync, then that's a source of frustration for the support staff. And if the dentist is a source of frustration for the support staff, then over time that resentment builds and they want to help them less and less, and it ends up not being a good fit.
What I want to share, I've only had a few jobs in life, but one was restaurant server, and what you share is exactly like restaurant serving. We have my Ariel and Amanda and Jill were restaurant servers. I've been at local, truck stops. I've been at fine dining. I've trained people, and I knew when they walked in, this isn't for them. Sometimes fine dining is too slow, and they're more of a chain place. So tell me, this is a great share for our community. Would someone be able to come in and observe you and observe the office before they took the job? Or how do you find out about paces, whether it's your office or another? Would you recommend observing, coming, hang out and shadow? How do you find that out?
Oh, I totally recommend coming to visit the practice and seeing it in operation.
Right.
And I think, a tenet of there are certain things that the owner should do to make the associate successful as possible.
Yeah.
And to do so, transparency and openness is very much, I think, a gold standard. And I would love it if people who are interested in it to come and check it out and just meet me for a beer.
Yeah.
And
you
talk
get
to me
also
and then see how we work.
I think you and I have a lot of similar things, and I know we also definitely have some different things, but one of the things I think we're open-minded about is I will look at multiple dental practices to buy, even if I don't think they're a good fit, because I always learn something, right? For me to go and meet an owner at his practice and see what happens, it's great. I learned something. So people get to learn when they come and visit you. Tell me a little bit first, Jerry, people are watching now, how can they reach out to you if they want to do this? We're sharing in the chat, the text codes, but what's the best website for them to check out to see this practice and also how to connect with you directly?
Yeah, so I feel a little bit behind the times. I don't do Instagram or any of the stories or whatnot, and it's not
you can
I don't
hire
want to
Yaldish.
share.
You can start training people.
Right. So I just want them to email me or call me, and I'll chat with you. And if you are interested enough to come and check it out, I'm happy to host you. And
you do have something going for you. I've noticed being on the East Coast in Philadelphia, we have so many graduate schools, and people run over here and eat our good food, and they love the city, but then they run right back to California. So you do have the California thing. What is your best email for them to email?
It's hayu82@gmail.com.
Awesome. We'll put that in there. I would recommend, we're on this, is that even if you don't do Instagram, there's probably some value to having some presence there, because the Yalda generation is where they find out about positions. So even if you don't have the desire to do it personally, we have a practice Instagram account, which at least just helps share. We're looking for this, we're doing this, sharing our stories. So awesome, Jerry. Anything else you want to add about your position before you jump off?
No, I think if I want to build upon Dr. Yalda's point, mentorship is probably supremely important in this gig. And, there is a severe lack of mentorship for young dentists these days. And because there's a lack of mentorship and how critical mentorship is needed to the development of that dentist career, then they enter through it, and then 10, 15 years later, they sort of become jaded And then that in turn leads to sort of more failed associateships. And then that leaves sort of owners, jaded dealing with associates. And it's sort of a two-way street. There has to be give and a little bit of flexibility in both ways. But in the same way that I think a lot of owners, because I know other owner dentists who kind of the common gripe is that, oh, it's hard to find good help. But then the converse is that, well, have we done enough to foster and develop the talent that will turn into good help?
That's so important. And y'all offered to share your office and story. So screenshot us, and our team will tell you the text code. So we'll show you the power of Instagram, Jerry. That may be a screenshot of 2 medium-aged dentists and dads shared on y'all this story, and give a text code. Our Nacho team can tell you all that is CUAs. But I really want to share with you, Jerry. I appreciate a lot of things about you, but one, just managing multiple offices and multiple dentists is just awesome, because dentists should bond together more. And like what y'all that talked about and what you're talking about, the dentists on your team, they can talk to each other, right? And talk doesn't have to be face-to-face. They can text with each other, but they feel like they're part of a group that has their back. And I just want more of this in our dental space. I'm not anti-DSO. I work with DSOs. I'm not anti-solo GPs. I work with solo GPs, but I have a model like yours. Multiple locations, multiple dentists, sharing, caring. It can get messy, like sharing nachos, but in the end, you get to be part of something cool. So I just want to say I really, really admire that about you.
Yeah, well, cool. Thank you.
Thanks, Jerry. We're going to show you the power of Instagram. Awesome, guys. We're going to wrap up here in a couple minutes. Thanks, Jerry. Enjoy your day out there. Thanks for jumping on with us early. We're going to wrap up here in a minute. If you have any last minute question, I'm going to check the Q&A here for this. In your opinion, what is fair compensation for an associate a few years out of dental school? So great question. What is fair compensation? What would be better is we talk about WNL within normal limits. I know that's not exactly the best example of my nice team families coming in here to see when you work at home. This happens there. Maybe you'll see one of the moderators here in a second. What is normal compensation? So one of the challenges is normal compensation from 2002 and 2020 is similar. So what I would say is most normal is a daily safety net guarantee of, let's call it $600 a day. So if you work for 200 days in an office at $600 a day, you would earn $120,000 against 33% of net collections. So let me share this more. You collect $600,000 and your guarantee is 120, you would be paid an additional 80. That would be a positive way. If you collect enough to make 130, you get an additional 10. If you only collect enough to get 100, you still would be paid that guarantee. So we're still in this $600 a day. 33% of net collections is my best answer to that. There's variety built into there, but that's my best answer for that. Let me just go back to my presentation here for a second. If anyone has any other questions, I'll be glad to answer them. Good. Okay, Amanda, Ariel, or Christian, did I miss anything before we finish up our fun presentation? Thrilled. Thanks so much for everyone who was on. You guys were awesome.
We got to everything.
Cool. And just so you can stick around for Smithson, y'all too, at 12 o'clock, there's going to be literally the best dentist on earth, not saying that with any trace of exaggeration. So our team will share in the chat, totally free. You can watch it. If you want to see, you have to pay. If you want to watch it for free, go watch it for free. So share that on Facebook Live, share that in the chat. He's an amazing dentist and human, also a high-level gardener, true story about him. And I just wanted to leave up this as the last slide here, guys. If you would like our golden nacho tips on associateship success, you just text in gold and we will text it back to you. Enter my Q&A. Awesome, guys. I'll see you at the next one.
The number on that is wrong.
Oh, gotcha. All right, tell them it's 215-543-6454. Hold on, I'll fix it. Current slide. All right, good. It's back. But you can't see it, can you, Ariel?
You just have to share your screen.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get that back on
there. Yeah, perfect. Awesome.
All right, I'm gonna stop my video and I'm gonna end this in like 2 minutes. Thanks so much for being here, guys. Really appreciate it. Love these things. To our owners, to the Yaldas, to our sponsors and our team, really, really fun time. Keep us in mind for the next one. And do not miss out on the first 1,000 tickets for free for Super Dentist Boost Live. We'll share in the chat, Facebook Live, and how you can get that. I know you guys like free stuff. Your favorite thing, you get free seat from your couch, first 1,000 tickets. Thanks, guys.